My boyfriend slapped me for exposing his abuse, and he told me that I am spreading lies that he beats girls. Now, he won't be able to touch me again. I got my period in the middle of the night. I teared up a little bit because I hate being on my period, so I was really sad about that. I also ruined my boyfriend's sheets, so I was embarrassed too. I couldn't open my legs because I knew I would just bleed more, so I gently woke him up to carry me to the bathroom. He was kind of annoyed about being woken up, understandably, but I couldn't walk because I was in pain. I was crying a little bit while he was carrying me, and when he put me down, I realized that I wouldn't be able to take the extra few steps to sit down on the toilet. I also knew that as soon as I opened my legs, period would just come out, so I then asked him to give me his hand to help me get into the bathtub instead. He was annoyed and said, "Can't you do it yourself?" I said, "No, my stomach hurts." He then helped me, and I cried because I knew I was just annoying him. He said, "You just ruined all my effing sheets." I said I was sorry. He then sighed obnoxiously loudly to show his annoyance. I said I was sorry. Can you drop it? You act like you're the one cramping for a week. He then said, "Shut the F up. My sisters get their period too, and they're not biatches about it." I said, "What did you just say?" He laughed and went to the kitchen. I followed him and grabbed his arm to make him look at me, and he kind of raised his voice and said, "Bro, leave me alone. You just ruined my effing day with your BS." I said, "Sorry, I have my period?" And he was like, "You're acting like you're giving birth. Relax." He then followed with, "How do you want us to build a family if you cry at every effing inconvenience?" I cried and said, "What the F does that even have to do with this?" And he said, "See, if you can't handle period cramps, how do you want me to build a family with you?" At the moment, I thought it was his way of breaking up with me, and I said, "Are you trying to break up with me right now?" He said, "You know you can be so stupid sometimes." I said, "What's that supposed to mean?" And he said, "I'm not talking about this anymore, go get some rest." I tried to talk about it, but he just gave me the silent treatment. Update: we did not talk after our fight. I texted him. I told him I was sorry and wanted to talk in person. He ended up coming over, and as soon as he came in, he acted like nothing happened, which just pissed me off. I told him I wanted to discuss what happened because his words still hurt me. He responded, "You acted like you were disabled. If I hadn't been there, what would you have done?" I said I didn't like the way he was cussing at me and calling me names, and he replied, "Well, let someone else ruin your day with dumb poop and see how you react." I told him I didn't think it was dumb poop, I was in so much pain, and he didn't show any sympathy. He said, "Well, I just hope next time you won't piss me off." I asked, "Why are you so mean?" He didn't answer, he just went on his phone. I got mad and took his phone because he always dismisses me disrespectfully to make me feel dumb. I said I wanted to finish the conversation, and he got even angrier. He ended up grabbing my wrist and twisting it to make me drop it. I started crying, and he was like, "What the F are you crying about? You did this to yourself." I was so hurt that I just told him to leave. He left, and I texted him in the heat of the moment, saying it was over. A few hours later, his sister sent me a huge text asking if I was okay. She said her brother told her I went crazy and was worried for me, but that I just broke up with him out of nowhere. Final update: I had my appointment with the gynecologist, and it turns out I had a miscarriage. I've never been more heartbroken in my entire life. He called me the day after the incident to apologize. He said he regretted what he did and promised to do better. I told him about the miscarriage, and he apologized profusely for his reaction. He genuinely looked sorry. We both cried, and it was a beautiful conversation overall. We spent the next few days glued together, and they were amazing. Everything was okay until last night. It was my friend's birthday. His sister was there, too, and we chatted. She asked what had happened, and I explained that we were arguing. I took his phone, and he grabbed my arm and twisted it to make me drop it. She laughed and said he used to do that to her growing up. The next morning, he asked me if I had told his sister anything. He accused me of spreading lies about him to everyone for attention and said that he doesn't even know my friends, and that's the first impression they have of him now. I tried to say they didn't hear me, and I was just talking to my friend. I also said that I was laughing as I was telling the story. He kept cutting me off and getting angrier. He was like, "Your voice is so effing loud you think no one heard you? Are you that effing stupid? Now everyone thinks I beat girls. Are you happy? Did you get the attention you wanted?" When I tried to hug him, he slapped me. I had never been hit in the face in my entire life, let alone by a man. We were both shocked for a moment, and then he started crying and apologizing. I said I was okay and that I just wanted to leave. He tried to offer me a ride, but I said no and went home alone. I went home, turned off my phone, and cried all day. I did block him, and I'm trying to keep my distance because I'm scared of what he could do next. I'm pretty sure he knows it's over now, but I think he knows.